Hey everyone, this is Mastermind278 here with a Craig CMP741D. This is a RK2918 system. So we were actually going to install Jellybean on this tablet. Most of you probably got this tablet at CVS at a really great price. So let's make this an even better tablet. First thing we're going to have to do is go to XDA, and I'll be posting a tutorial on Android tablets of how to do this. And if you go to XDA, you should be able to find OMA7144 thread of RK2918 tablet Jellybean. From here, you're going to download version 1.2.2a. There might be a newer version come the future, but for now we'll download that. I'm not going to download this, but you can always download that after. The other download you need to get is the OMA JB version 1.1 format NAND, and then keep going down. And you're going to have to click here, and for tabs without volume buttons, Clockwork Mod Touch, we're going to have to download that also, and then you can just download it from right there. And I'll be posting this links on the thread also. And the other thing you're gonna have to download is the kernel that I extracted from my other tablet. So we're gonna start here with a Virgin CMP741D. I literally just opened it up. There's nothing excuse me, done to it. First thing we want to do is actually power it off. And now we can go back to our desktops here, or a laptop in my case right now. So all the files I downloaded, they're all right here. First one I want to do is actually open up the 1.2.2a, and I want to extract this. Alrighty, so that's extracted. So now we can open up the folder here, and we see a bunch of things there. What I want to do now is actually go into our tablet, and I want to there's 3 buttons up here. And unfortunately I can't get it focused, so we'll hold it backwards. And there's 3 buttons on the top. If I can get this focused, and we're just way too close. Okay, that works. There's 3 buttons on the top: power, menu, escape. So we're gonna hold the escape one, so the outermost side. Okay, let me flip this around so you guys can see the outermost side of the button here. I'm gonna hold down that. We're going to have the USB cable plugged into our computer, and then plug in the other end of the USB into our tablet, like so. Okay. So at this point our tablet's just black. That's okay. So we go to our computer, and we see that there's drivers showing up here. and it looks like it actually installed. Let's just verify that. It's our the impression that it would not install. It did not install, so unknown device right there. So we got update. You have to go into device manager, so you can go to computer management, device manager, or if you're on Windows 8, control start X, device manager, and update driver software. Browse the computer. You can actually tell it to browse to where you extracted those files. So mine are on my desktop. OMA USB driver, and now it asks you want to install. Click install. You have successfully installed, and we're good to go. So now this is the program we want to run, but before we do that, let's fix some of the things. So we go to rock dev folder and go to image. So these are the images by OMA, and a few of them we have to modify. So we don't want to use his kernel because it's not going to work on our device. So I'm just going to rename this to kernel OMA, and then we've downloaded the kernel, which I provided the link for, and we're just going to drag it over to that folder here. And then the other thing we're going to change is the recovery, because this recovery requires volume rockers, and we do not have volume rockers. So again, I'm just going to change the name on this one to OMA, and we downloaded the recovery here, and it's Clockwork Mod Touch, CWM Touch, and we're just going to extract this right into this folder here. Okay, connects that out. At this point, we can go to RK Android 1.29, right click, run as administrator, and now we have our loading thing. We're good to go because we have found the RK Android Loader Rock USB, which is a good thing. Okay, so now what we want to do is put a check mark on loader here, and then we're going to click erase IDB. And now what this is doing is running a few things here, and erase IDB is okay. Now we're going to uncheck loader, and now we can click run. And for the sake of time, I'm just going to come back once this is done. Alright, so now it says run OK once it's done, and then our tablet will boot up right into Clockwork Mod. I did not mention this previously on the video, but you should have the fix onto the SD card before you run this. I'll mention it specifically on the instructions, and I'll put an annotation. What you have to do is you got to put the OMA JB version 1.1 format NAND into the SD card, and then have the SD card plugged in. And that's what I'm going to do actually now, is install that. So this should be a touch recovery, so I can just go down, oops, install, choose it from SD, down, choose the OMA, and now yes, install. So I recommend you run this before you get into your actual OS, because then it has to wipe. So that's why you should put it onto your SD card before you do all this process. Again, I do apologize for not putting that on the video. I already had it done, but I will make an annotation for it. Alright, so now we can click back, reboot system now. We have our ice cream sandwich, but we're not really running ice cream sandwich. We're going to be running Jellybean. Now here's Oma's bootloader animation. And this is going to take a little while, so I'll come right back once this is done booting up. Okay, so now we're in landscape mode. Let's see. Alright, so that seems to have fixed the problem that we were having with rotation. Let's see. Yep. So we're back to having rotation, and that works. Perfect. What I ended up doing is I also changed the model number to say once again CMP741D. And let's show you guys that Wi-Fi does work. And Wi-Fi does work. As you can see, there's a bunch of networks here. But yeah, so that's the tablet in a nutshell. The only thing I'm not really happy with is the DPI that this is set in, but there's a few apps out in the market that you can change the DPI, or you can change the DPI yourself. So nonetheless, here we go, a CMP741D booting up with Jellybean. And as part of the video, you should always just have a little bit of fun, so we're just going to load up. We have our Jellybean. Alright, have a great time, guys. Thank you. One more thing before I end the video. I just created another model fix, and now I'll have two options. You can choose the current option, which is going to have everything just slightly bigger. All the icons are just pretty big. And if you're okay with that and you prefer it this way, that works. But what I'm actually gonna show you guys is with the other option with the 120 DPI. So I'm just gonna download the model fix that I just created. Okay, download complete, and I'm just gonna reboot into recovery and install that so you guys can see the difference, and you guys can decide which one you guys prefer for recovery. So I'm actually a bigger fan of the 120, I believe. So let's see how this looks, and you guys can decide which one you guys prefer. Alright. And normally you just put it on the root because you download it on the computer. I downloaded it from here. So model fix CMP741D version 120. And let's install this. Alright, click back. Reboot system now. And I apologize, this video is super long, but nobody needs to watch the whole thing if they don't really want to. Alrighty. Alright, here we go. As you can see right away, everything's so much smaller. Definitely gives you a little bit more for your real estate. And it is the first boot up after changing that to this take a little bit longer here. But as you can see, things are just smaller. I think they look a little bit better, especially if you go into, you know, change your mode. It is weird that it's not filling up the entire screen, but I think if we just clean up you can see the system's actually quite fast. Pretty happy with that. And I'm just going to clean up the stock there, and it should hopefully give us everything in fuller format now. There we go. So you just have to clean it up, and then you get everything. Everything is a little bit smaller, but you just get a lot more. I like it a lot better this way. As you can see, you can fit a lot more at 120. So it's up to you what you guys want to install. But nonetheless, the system runs really nice. The only thing I'm curious about is how the battery performs. At this point, I really don't know how good or bad the battery will be, but we shall see. Good luck and have a good one, guys.